Hello everyone, welcome to another Connecting Africa video interview. I'm Paula Gilbert, the editor of Connecting Africa, and today with me I have Mariam Cassim, who is the CEO of Vodacom Financial and Digital Services. Hi Mariam, it's so nice to see you.
Hi, Paula. Really great to see you too.
So I'll jump right into the questions. We know Vodacom Financial Services has grown a lot over the last few years. Maybe you can give us just some updates on the latest numbers in terms of financial services revenue and also customers and how that's growing.
Yeah, sure. The business still continues to grow significantly well. We're still well over double-digit year-on-year growth rates, which has really been our mandate since the start. And it's now becoming a bigger and bigger part of the Vodacom group, which is by design. We continue to just launch new products and scale existing products within each of the different parts of the business, from insurance to payments, lending, and then, of course, our little baby, which is growing up quite nicely, called VodaPay. But yeah, just lots going on in each of the different areas. We still have a two-pronged strategy focusing on both the consumer as well as the SMME or small business owner, and all products and services are developed with both customer segments in mind.
Yeah, very nice. We'll get into VodaPay in a second. But I wanted to ask you, the insurance space seems to be doing really, really well in the last financial half in South Africa. I mean, it grew 17%, which is a lot. So I'm just interested, what are the other services that are also doing well? And do you still see some room for growth in the insurance market?
Yeah, of course. I think there's still immense room for growth in the South African market. The growth has come from a few different areas. I think firstly on our short-term insurance book, we continue to grow our device insurance product there, which the penetration within the base of mobile phones just continues to increase. We've become even better at managing our claims ratios in that business, which again places us well ahead of traditional insurers when it comes to the insurance of mobile phones. And then on the life insurance side, we've launched a few years ago our funeral insurance product, and that is starting to scale significantly, both on the postpaid funeral side as well as on the prepaid funeral side. So, we've done a lot around the product differentiation on the funeral insurance product. And as you know, we're a fully fledged underwriter from what we've seen, still the only telco in the world that actually has its own insurance licenses. And this just gives us a lot of flexibility and a lot of opportunities to create new products, differentiate from existing products, and really give customers, wherever we can, a seamless, simple, fully digital experience in most of our product sets.
Very interesting, very big business in South Africa and something that's needed for sure. I wanted to ask about VodaPay. The super app launched about 2 years ago. So what kind of growth have you seen with that over time, and how has the app kind of evolved over those 2 years?
Yeah, it's a really great success story for us on our side. We're now at just over 7 million downloads of the super app. So really exceeded all expectations we had. We're now at over 100 different mini applications on the super app. So as you know, the VodaPay super app is really, the best way we describe it as just this huge digital shopping mall, which allows for many merchants to come into the mall and for customers to be able to shop between these different merchants. Outside of that, we still do the traditional sale of telco products, being airtime and data. We are not tied into the Vodacom customer base, meaning you do not have to be a Vodacom customer to access the VodaPay super app. Customers from any network can access it. And I think this is really, a very constructive drive for us in terms of financial inclusion, is that it does not exclude anyone from accessing the app. We're so committed to the realm of financial inclusion that we're also retailing competitors' airtime through VodaPay. So it's not just Vodacom airtime that's available, but competitors' airtime is available on the app as well. We offer a myriad of value-added services, so customers can do everything from pay their bills, pay their DSTV subscriptions, pay their traffic fines, prepaid electricity, prepaid water, etc. And then, of course, the mini app environment, which now, as I mentioned, has close to about 100 different mini apps that customers can shop on, straddling so many different industries. So everything from health and wellness, groceries, electronics, food, fitness, travel and leisure, and we continue to build on this ecosystem. And we see that, with every super apps are generally built on one anchor use case in our world, that's telco, and naturally should be. But what we're finding is that the moment a customer comes in on purchasing telco products, we very quickly see them grow into other product sets as well. So right now we see that 30% of our customers who come in to buy telco products are actually purchasing other things outside of telco, be that do a bill payment or purchase something in our e-commerce environment. It's significantly shifting that behavior. What else has changed? We've launched our cash in and cash out proposition. So this is allowing customers to fund the store of value. As you know, VodaPay has both a digital wallet, which allows you to store as many debit and credit cards as you may have for customers who are already banked. For customers who do not have a bank account, you're able to open a bank account with VodaPay. And we have launched the cash in, cash out proposition, which allows customers to put cash into their VodaPay wallets, which they can either choose to send to someone else or spend within the ecosystem. But if you've sent cash to someone else and they need to cash out at a different point, they're able to do that as well. We will soon be launching our virtual card proposition, which is in partnership with Visa. So this will really enable customers who have a VodaPay store value or VodaPay bank account to be able to transact through that account either in an e-commerce environment or in a physical environment as well, linked to a card that will be issued together with that. We've also launched a consumer lending proposition within VodaPay. So this is really a disruptive product. I think we're probably the only organization in the country that offers unsecured lending from as little as 50 Rand to 500 Rand. Using very sophisticated credit scoring algorithms in the background, fitting well within the requirements of the National Credit Act, but really ensuring that we're driving financial inclusion and just giving customers a simple, seamless, paperless, digital way to get access to finance, which, as we know, is really quite tough in the economic situation that we find ourselves in today. So that's another product that we've launched within VodaPay. The digital journey, and just on the consumer loans piece, the credit scoring algorithm that we have helps to decrease the credit rating of the customer, which thereby decreases the interest rate that they would pay. And that's purely just by leveraging the immense amount of data that we already have on our customers and really using that data to enable the customer to gain access to funding at rates that are much cheaper than they would ordinarily gain elsewhere. But then also, because this is a digital experience, it significantly decreases the cost of acquisition on our side, which means that saving can again be passed back to the customer.
Yeah, very interesting. A lot going on for sure. I think the lending space is very interesting and seeing a lot of growth in that across the continent as well. Just in terms of SMEs, you were talking about the enterprise market and focusing, not only on consumers. Why is that a focus area that's important for you guys?
So for many different reasons, Paula, I think, we really believe the next wave of economic growth across the continent is going to come from SMMEs. I saw an interesting stat the other day that said something that like 95% of all registered businesses on the African continent are actually SMMEs who contribute 50% of GDP. So this for me is testament to just how quickly SMMEs are mushrooming across the continent, and the next wave of growth is going to come from these small businesses. And so that, coupled with the fact that within the markets that Vodacom operates in, we are market leader, and generally more than 70% of these SMMEs are already Vodacom customers on the telco side. So how do we ensure that we're continuously building products and propositions that are going to enable them to grow their businesses? That's going to make life a whole lot easier for them to do what they need to do. So on the back of this, we've launched a lot. The first product that we generally lead with outside of the telco products that the customer may already have is our payment acquiring device. So we have our own physical point of sale device, which allows merchants to accept cashless payments, or customers to be able to pay at a merchant with a card. Linked to this is a merchant lending solution, which works in a very seamless way without any submission of any documents. We pre-credit score the merchant and give them a lending facility which they can choose to use to grow their business or to fund working capital. We know this is one of the biggest challenges for small businesses out there, is getting capital to fund their inventory or even just grow their businesses. So the lending product is proving to be exceptionally popular with our small business owners. The lending product, we offer loans anywhere from 5,000 Rand to 5 million Rand. So again, it covers, a significant scale of different merchants depending on their size. We also have launched an invoice financing product. So this is where a merchant is supplying products or services to a large organization, and traditionally they've got to wait 60 days or 90 days for payment. We're able to finance those invoices so the merchant gets cash up front. And that again helps with quick and easy cash flow and allows them to continue with their businesses. Our VodaTrade ordering platform, which is a great asset that we have, currently processes on an annual basis about 200 billion Rand of transaction value. And this really just connects your large FMCGs to your retailers. We've now taken that down a notch and giving small merchants access to this ordering platform, such that small merchants are able to order directly from FMCGs wherever the need arises. And this really gives them a great digital experience in terms of ordering as well.
Yeah, sounds like a very busy year for you so far. I'm just interested. So Vodacom, the group, basically has three super apps. You've got VodaPay in South Africa, you've got Vodafone Cash in Egypt, and then M-Pesa across the rest of the continent, obviously doing very well in places like Tanzania and Kenya. I'm just interested, why not have the same brand across the market? And maybe how do you see them operating differently in the different territories? What are kind of the services that are working in SA that you wouldn't see in other places?
Yeah, I think, it's purely just historic, Paula, in terms of the evolution of how our financial services strategy has evolved within the different markets over the, I guess, 15 to 16 years of existence. If you go as early back as when M-Pesa was created, that's a 16-year-old business, all the way to, and sort of taking that within some of the neighboring markets within the Vodacom group. And then you take VodaCash, which is a brand that was launched in Egypt and a brand that works very well and customers love. And then you take VodaPay, which was the brand chosen for South Africa. I'm sure you're familiar with the fact that we had the M-Pesa brand launched twice in South Africa. And I think, with the learnings from that, we just decided that we needed to take a different view on looking at payments in a market that's very different to the other markets in Africa. So South Africa is already highly penetrated from a banking point of view. What worked in at the early stages of M-Pesa in our different markets was definitely not going to work in a market like South Africa. So, we really had to rethink the strategy, rethink what we wanted to do. And with that, the launch of the super app has arisen, which brings about a very different customer proposition to what a traditional M-Pesa product would be offering, as an example. So with everything that we do, and especially with the super app, we're leading in South Africa, and that's for a few reasons. South Africa is by far the most mature when it comes to a smartphone penetration point of view. And of course, with a mobile application, the customer has to have a smartphone. So we're using South Africa as our first market to test the concept of the super app, which of course is proving to be very successful already. We've launched elements of the super app onto the M-Pesa platform. So we've launched the mini application framework, which now exists in some markets on M-Pesa. Within Egypt, it's still, very much the traditional telco app with a little bit of the financial services component. But as we learn and emerge, we will continue to roll these out across the different applications in the different markets. And it's all just dependent on, the state of maturity and then the stage at which the customer's need has developed in those markets.
Yeah, very interesting to see the different approaches in different regions, which I think is important. You can't have a one size fits all, right? I'm aware we're running out of time, but my final question, I guess, is the big question. What's the strategy for growth for mobile financial services for you guys in South Africa and maybe across the group over the next 2 years?
Yeah, I think, we've spent the last, I'd say 5 years, Paula, on really building and perfecting a niche set of different products and solutions. The last 5 years for me has been all about the build phase and perfecting of these products to ensure that with every product that we've launched, we have the best unparalleled customer experience. We're fitting well within the regulatory frameworks and the regulatory environment of what's required for those products. And we're ensuring that, the customer just is at the center and has a need for whatever it is that we're launching. So for me, the next 2 years, what do they look like? It's all about scale, scale, and scale. How do we now really put our foot on the accelerator and get these products to be scaling in each of the different markets where they've launched, whether that's in the insurance space or on the SMME acquiring space, or even on, in the space of VodaPay. How do we ensure that these products are getting the sufficient amounts of publicity, marketing money, or sufficient amounts of distribution that it needs to make them successful. So that's really what the next 2 years are for us. It's just about continuing to do what we do well.
All right. Well, thanks so much. A big thanks to Mariam Cassim, the CEO of Vodacom Financial and Digital Services. It's been great chatting.
Thanks, Paula.